Hello, my name is Steph Bartlett and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is where I share all things farm life, travel and wellness. If you love all things farm life, travel and wellness, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. It doesn't cost a cent, but it helps me and my business tremendously. Thank you. If you saw my last YouTube video, you would have seen that I made the trip from South Australia across the Nullarbor to Western Australia, and I'm currently pulled up in Busselton. I am loving it here, but I'll share more about that in my next YouTube video. As for now, I have got some of the most stunning footage from Esperance and Denmark. Exploring Esperance and Denmark has certainly been a highlight of my trip so far. And also, I stayed in a tiny house on a farm, and I didn't realize how much this farm girl needed a bit of a farm stay. It recharged me. It was just what I needed. So I'm going to share some footage from that in this video as well. Anyway, that's enough chatting from me. Let's get into the video. I want to show you all this gorgeous footage I've got traveling or exploring Esperance and Denmark. So let's go.
Burn a little brighter every day, swimming in the tide against
Okay, just quickly, remember in the last video, I was meant to stay the night at Norseman, but I pulled up there, didn't get a good vibe at the place I was meant to stay at, so I kept driving to Esperance, and I'm very happy to say that I was able to get some last minute accommodation. This was the room that I got. It was absolutely perfect. I had the best night's sleep, and then the next morning I got up for a walk. It was time to explore. It was pretty overcast and even a bit rainy, but that was not going to stop me exploring these beaches. During my walk, I stopped at a cafe for breakfast and I talked to one of the girls at work there and asked where I should head first. And this is the spot they told me to go to. So I did jump in my car, drove out here, and I had so much fun exploring here. You'd walk up the steps and then down the steps, down onto the beach. It was really beautiful. And whilst I was there, I got an email to say that my apartment was ready to check into early. So instead of waiting until the afternoon, I could check in the morning, which was fantastic. Whilst I'm very much a nature girly, I also love coffee and cafes and all that fun stuff. So whilst I was in Esperance, I was told Coffee Cat, this one, was a must go to, as was Downtown, this cafe here. And then another really cool spot was Bread Local. This place was a total vibe. Not only did it have coffee, it had these delicious pastries. Plus I got a delicious sandwich for lunch that day as well. More about that later. But it was just a total vibe. Like there was all this grassed area, tables and seating everywhere. I really liked this spot. All right, it's time for a little bit of an explore. I'm going to head out to Cape Legrand. So I've got my backpack. I just had a chat to some locals at a cafe I was at and said, is it an activewear place? Like, is it lots of walking or is it just drive to the sites and stuff? It said activewear, pack snacks, water. So I'm going to put water, snacks in here, sunscreen. I've already put some on, but I'll reapply. And then my phone stand, which my phone is currently on, I chucked that in my backpack too, so I can film if I need to. I think that's it. I better get moving, it's gonna warm up. I thought I'd quickly show you, this is my phone stand. It has traveled with me when I was doing bus life. I use it on the farm. I can change it portrait, landscape. I can sit it there, hit record on my phone, and then if I want to be in the video, I can move around. This is the stuff you got to learn when you travel solo. You've got to be creative with getting your footage. Whilst I'm at it with showing you stuff, this is my little cooler bag. I've got an ice pack that I pop in the bottom. And I'm going to put my sandwich in there for lunch today, and then I just chuck another cooler pack on top. I love this bag. I got it for my birthday from some friends. I use it all the time, especially when traveling. Here we go. Here is the footage from Cape Legrand. It's about 50 kilometers out of Esperance, this national park, and it is a must see. The beaches here are just something else. I've often heard people say that the beach sand at Esperance is squeaky. It's so fine, it even squeaks under your feet. And this first beach I stopped at Cape Legrand, I knew exactly what they were talking about. When you visit Cape Le Grand, you'll see that when you go in the gate, you do pay a few dollars for it. They give you a map and there's different spots where you drive around the national park. There's car parks at the different sites, different beaches, and there's even some walking tracks along the way as well. A lot of people had told me when I go to Cape Le Grand, Hellfire Bay was a must-see, and that was probably a lot of people's highlights, to be honest. That was their favourite spot to visit, so when I saw the sign, I was very excited to wander down and check it out. And safe to say, it did not disappoint. There was a little walking track near Hellfire Bay, so that's where I wandered before. Once I got back to the car park, I got my little esky bag out of the car and the delicious sandwich I got from Bread Local that morning. I can confirm it was delicious. After lunch, I jumped in my car. I had one more stop to check out at Cape Le Grand, and this was the final spot. It just looks so picture perfect. It was a bit windy, but that didn't stop me from getting out of the car and walking on that squeaky fine white sand and getting my feet in the water, that beautiful blue water. I then drove back to Esperance, the town, and this is one of the beaches in town. It is stunning. And then from there, I went back to the apartment, and out the back, they have this outdoor area, which was perfect for me to get out my laptop. Oh, and I also put a load of washing on. That was very much needed. Put some washing on, got some work done before packing up the car the next day and moving on to Denmark. And on the way, I stopped at Albany. I had a quick look there as well, but I didn't get too much footage, but that looks like a really cool place too. And from there, it was to the tiny house on the farm. So I was heading to Denmark, but I saw this Airbnb at Nornelup. So it is a bit out of Denmark, but it's still near all the main attractions. And I've never stayed in a tiny house, so I was super keen to give that a try. Oh, I tell you what, this farm girl, this just couldn't be more perfect. After lots of driving across the Nullarbor, and then like exploring places, and then I've just been in Esperance, so quite a few people there, traffic, all that kind of stuff. I've been craving a little retreat like this, to be able to look outside and just see the trees and just see wide open space. I think wide open space is my favorite thing. And I noticed I stayed at a lovely apartment in Esperance. It was great. Can't fault it. I just noticed there was no windows except for at the front where the front door was. And I'm used to lots of natural light, lots of space, and seeing lots of wide open space. The country girl in me needs it. And I think also when you're used to peace and quiet and a lot of alone time, it's kind of like sensory overload when you're in a busy town and there's traffic and people and noise and buildings everywhere. So I'm very happy to be here. Sal, the host of this Airbnb, has been really helpful, messaging me, answering any questions I have. I'm going to go for an explore on the farm here. There's a gate there I can go through and go for a bit of a walk. I just had to check with her that they don't have cows because I've got a cow phobia. Yep, farm girl with a cow phobia. There's sheep. I can handle sheep. I'm used to them on the farm. So let's go check it out. There were some bushfires nearby, so it was quite smoky, but it was still just so nice to have all this space to roam around and just get that country fix. And the tiny house kind of reminded me of bus life, living in a small space. It's amazing how you can still have everything you need and be more than comfortable in such a small space. I was really impressed with this tiny house. The layout of it all, it felt so homey. Yeah, it was awesome. Oh, and whilst I was there, I had some client coaching calls to do as well. So I loved that I had this little office set up, or this little desk. And I equally loved, or even more so loved, that I had this outside deck. I spent a lot of time sitting here, having a drink in the evening, eating my meals there, pulling out my laptop. I'd even do a bit of work from there, some writing, and just simply sit there in stillness and just soak it all up. What an absolutely gorgeous spot. I can't get the smile off my face. I just ate my dinner here, having a little drink and realizing I am definitely a farm girl. I've traveled and seen some beautiful beaches, beautiful towns, obviously, like you've seen in the video. But coming here, just having all this space and being surrounded by nature without the hustle and bustle, I just feel so content, and yeah, I just can't stop smiling. And they've got a paddock here that you can go for a walk through as well. So I got my farm girl fix, being able to go for a farm walk. Yeah, it's just bloody beautiful. Love it. The other cool thing about this tiny house is that it's very close to all the main attractions around Denmark. So first up on my list was the Valley of the Giant Treetop Walk. I'd heard a lot about this, and I really love seeing beautiful big trees, or even small trees. I just love trees, full stop. So I was really looking forward to this one. As soon as you pull up in the car park, you can see how big the trees are. And I have to tell you, I was pretty happy to see that coffee van in the entrance as well. You pay for a ticket at the entrance, and the ticket lasts you all day. So you might want to do the treetop walk, go away for a little bit, come back later in the day, and that is totally fine. Once you get to the end of the treetop walk, you see that there is a path and there's a walk you can do down on the ground. And to be honest, I probably liked this walk down on the ground even more so than the treetop walk. It was really pretty. Don't get me wrong, the treetop walk is just something different and unique and very cool. Maybe I'm just someone that likes to keep their feet on the ground. I don't know, but it really gave you a different perspective being down on the ground, looking up at the height of these huge trees. I then drove into the actual town of Denmark, and I have to say this is one of my favorite spots in WA on the southwest coast so far. It is such a beautiful town, even though it was very smoky with the bushfires. It just had a really nice vibe about it. From there, I drove to Green's Pool. Now this is officially my favorite beach in Western Australia so far. I thought this beach was just amazing. It is so pretty, the color of that water, that clear blue water, the fine sand and all the rocks. It's just like so fun to explore. It's stunning. It was then time to leave Greenspool, and someone told me the Peaceful Bay do really good fish and chips. So I was like, all right, it's lunchtime, let's go. So I went and got some fish and chips at Peaceful Bay. And whilst I was there, I thought, well, I better check out the bay if I've driven here. Yes, I come for fish and chips, but we still want to check out the sights as well. And sure enough, it was another beautiful beach. It was then back to the tiny house. I had a couple of nights here, so I wanted to have a bit of time just to chill, check out the view from this shower in the tiny house. All the little details, I just love it. They had great books there to read as well, so I did just lay down, enjoy reading a book, and of course I spent more time out on the deck as well. I even had sheep wandering past. It was the real farm experience. I really felt at home here. And then before I went to bed that night, Sal, the Airbnb host, messaged to say that because of the bushfires, I was going to have to detour to get to Busselton the next day. So I've just got out the shower and I can see it is raining. So hopefully some of this rain puts out those fires. And as for now, it's time for me to pack and get ready to hit the road. I jumped in the car and my 3-hour trip turned into a 5-hour trip to Busselton because of detours. But once I arrived in Busso, I was greeted with this beautiful studio. This is my brother and sister-in-law's place. They have this in their backyard for family to stay in. How lucky am I? And it's just so special to spend time with family as well. My brother and sister-in-law have been showing me around Busselton and the areas that surround Busselton. It's been amazing, but more on that in the next YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Esperance, Denmark, in fact, all of the southwest coast of WA is absolutely stunning. So if you get a chance to check it out, be sure that you do. I think I could do this whole trip again and see different things the entire time. Like, there is so much to see. Anyhow, as for the next video, it's going to be all about Busselton, where I've been staying for the past 3 weeks. I've really enjoyed my time here, so much so that it wouldn't surprise me if I move here one day. It's a possibility. It's on the cards. I'll keep you posted. Thank you once again for watching my YouTube video. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, please be sure to do so. It means the world to me. Until next time, be wildly you and live life your way.